Hey guys, I'm Ryan Panagos, aka Marvel's Agent M, and I'm joined by James-mangold, director of the Wolverine, and Logan himself, Hugh Jackman. How you doing, guys?
Man. Good.
Hey, good to
Welcome.
be here.
Thanks for joining us, and welcome to the live chat from the set of the Wolverine.
Yeah.
Jim, Hugh, and the rest of the crew have been kindly allowing us this special access on the set, which is only a few days away from wrapping here in Sydney, Australia. You guys psyched for this to kind of come together?
Yeah, I'm a little sad.
I am too. I've loved the time here in Sydney.
Yeah, no, we've still got a few weeks to go.
Yeah, we do.
There's plenty of time for us to screw it up.
There's some major stuff yet to shoot, but it is down to a few weeks now. And but it is bittersweet because you're ready for a good night's sleep, but you're kind of at the same time the challenge of the movie, and it's such a great crew and such an amazing cast. Yeah. We have fun every day.
And cool. It's felt so different. From my perspective, obviously it's different for you. It's your first time, but from my perspective, the whole experience from the development through to shooting has felt really different.
Well, we asked you guys to submit questions, and you guys came through crazy good. So let's jump right into things. First question is from Alessandro in Munich, Germany. Where does this story fit into the X-Men timeline? And I know that's a huge question for everybody.
He's definitely at his lowest point at the beginning of this movie. You see him more vulnerable than you've ever seen him before, that's for sure. So it's a fantastic place to start, and having Jim there has been amazing, you know, because we worked together before on Kate and Leopold, but he pushes me, probably like no one else does. So it's been good.
Yeah, just watching you guys interact has been a lot of fun.
No, we have a lot of fun, and the thing is that for me, making a lot of dramas and other kinds of films as well, on one side it's a very different kind of challenge, and on another side it's not at all. Meaning that my goal is to try and bring the kind of dramatic integrity you might find in a straight drama, the kind of realism of the acting and of the intentions and the conflict into a movie like this, where it doesn't feel tongue-in-cheek, where it feels really committed and real.
Diego from Mexico City has a question. He says, how long have you guys been filming and where have you filmed?
Japan for this film becomes like a kind of Oz that Logan travels to, like in The Wizard of Oz. It's kind of this fever dream of all the things kind of, and it was in the original, you know, Miller Claremont comic, was just this kind of all these aspects of Japanese culture that are there, from Yakuza to mobsters to samurai to ninja, and it's all there. And so we're kind of trying to construct a kind of very realistically acted, and in some ways realistically looking, but also what I always say to our production designer is kind of a fever dream, like a kind of, I also think it should be heightened in some way or feel like it's more, like the volume knob has been turned up visually in a way.
Cool.
This family dynasty that he walks in upon, really, and it's just, this is one of the reasons I was so fascinated, because Logan, in his very essence, in many ways is the opposite of everything about Japanese culture. He's not about duty or honor or history or tradition or family, hierarchies, none of that. He's the opposite. So it really sets itself up in many ways. The juxtaposition is just perfect for him.
So you guys touched on this a little bit, but Christopher from Michigan has a question that says, how is the level of danger established for Wolverine, considering his intense healing powers?
You're always in danger with someone like Wolverine of feeling, well, he can get out of anything because he has healing ability, and, you know, unless you lop his head off, you know, really he's going to come back at you. Yeah. And actually in this movie, how do we put it? Let's say he discovers his kryptonite.
Yeah, there's a kryptonite kind of metaphor you could make. There's also just, what we could say to Christopher is that we're addressing that.
Joe from Stuttgart has a great question. Hugh, how did you intensify your training for this particular film?
Good question, Joe. I started earlier. I'm stricter. I started a long way earlier, because actually Jim and I were really been developing this we've been on this movie for 2 years. So the script was ready. I knew we had the time. It's for whatever reason. Either I was doing something before or we had a rush start date. I never felt I had the proper preparation time. With this, I had it. So I had no excuse. So I started earlier. I'm not getting younger, so I just, basically I have to train harder. I'm eating better. I'll tell you, I rang my mate Dwayne Johnson, and he gave me some great tips about eating, which I'm actually angry with him about, because it's 6,000 calories a day. I've killed more chickens than I'd like to ever dream about. And anyway, but the goal, I'm really happy that finally I feel like physically what is on film is how I saw it in my head. And by the way, this is not a vanity thing. This is not just about looking buff. And it's important that that rage inside is seen in his body. So it's not just being buff, looks like he goes to the gym. I wanted to see veins, I wanted it to be animalistic, I want it to look not pretty frightening.
So Jess from Johannesburg, South Africa has a great question. What sort of enemies does Wolverine face in this film? We talked about it a little bit, but he's got ninjas and what else? All kinds of stuff?
Yakuza, industrialists, politicians, women of varying degrees of who are they, what are they, can I trust them?
Yeah, great answer.
And
very good.
It's a labyrinth. I think that one of the things we're trying to do in this picture is you get an array, other mutants. I think there is an array of people he will come in contact with, both good, bad, or they're a question mark. And I think part of the energy of the film, if most superhero movies are eminently clear about who the bad guy is at the beginning and who the heroes have to battle to save this plot of land or group of people from the bad guys, this is a film where it is much more of a mystery and a labyrinth. Who can I trust? Where can I trust? It's part of what makes it so interesting that Logan enters the story trusting no one. Because he then has to kind of go through this array of people he meets in Japan and figure out good, bad, indifferent, and who he's gonna rely on.
And I don't want this to sound cheesy, but really also I always think himself. For probably more than ever, we've explored this war within himself, which is so endemic to this character and why people have loved the comic book character. And in this movie, we really explore his immortality, the burden of that. And at the beginning of this movie, he's finding it tough to find a reason to live. And then that essential battle really goes with him throughout the movie and is one of the really important themes, I think.
Shin from Tokyo, Japan asks, if you were to sum up the movie in a couple of sentences, how would you describe it?
It is awesome. I'd say Logan enters a labyrinth of mystery, adventure, violence, love, heartbreak.
Shin, is it? Yeah. Shin. Go to the title. The title gives you a big clue about this movie. If you've ever liked the character of Wolverine, of Logan, this is the movie for you. It's called The Wolverine. It's not called anything else. You're going to see...
It's 100% undiluted Wolverine.
You're going to see every side to him, and there's going to be some surprises in there too. And I just might want to add to that. Having gone through it for 12 weeks and having done many of these playing this role for 10 years. Action-wise, this is going to be the most action-packed and new and exciting than there's ever been before.